Okay, so this is going to be kind of a quick video. I did something a little bit different this time. You'll probably should find it easier. So hopefully you're seeing my screen. So I've introduced a new lesson today, and it's on bacteria. So there's instructions, and there's 2 links. This first one, bacteria LO1, basically our key concept, what are bacteria? We have some vocabulary, and this document has a picture of a bacteria. An interesting fact is penicillin works well on bacteria because it attacks the capsule. So notice that there's kind of a cell membrane and a cell wall and the capsule. So these 3 things are all kind of tied together. Basically, penicillin attacks that outer edge, and so it breaks it down enough so that the cell basically will burst as it fills up with water. There are 3 main shapes: the spheres, also known as cocci, rods, known as bacilla, and spiralia, which are spirals. And so the word cocci, look at the name, it looks like a bunch of circles. Bars/rods are bacilla. So the word bacilla, they call it a rod, but I think a bar, it's similar in spelling. And obviously the spirals are spiralia. So they kind of have a corkscrew look towards them. All right, so that is the reading. The other document is the reading. So, so here we have characteristics of bacteria, the structure of bacteria, so their movement is the flagella. So if we go back to that other picture, it's kind of a whip-like structure. They're able to kind of move that around, and that allows them to move. Reproduction. So it's similar to mitosis, but we call it a different name. It's fission. Basically, a cell will eat material until it gets to a certain size, and then it's going to duplicate into 2 identical cells. That's through fission. Conjunction. So this kind of interesting fact is that DNA they don't have, they're considered asexual in that their reproduction is just, there's 1 cell and it will divide, but once in a while they will share DNA strands. So here it shows a plasmid and a conjunction tube. Again, that plasmid can share DNA, and so that's why bacteria, you've probably heard about super bugs or penicillin that's resistant to medicines. It's because they reproduce very quickly, but they also will share genetic information. And so bacteria are the oldest living organisms on Earth, and so they're very highly adapted and can evolve into new forms. Now, I don't think this article talks about it, but an interesting fact is I could see in the future, instead of taking medicines for sickness, we would actually take bacteria for medicines, because bacteria, like currently we are facing a virus. Bacteria and viruses have kind of been at a war for millions of years. And so bacteria actually could be a key to in the future of curing some of our viruses, because bacteria and viruses naturally are enemies of each other, and so bacteria has highly evolved ways of defeating viruses. Okay, then the endospore. Basically, the endospore allows bacteria to survive harsh conditions. Easiest way to think about it is like a pond. You got bacteria living in the pond dries up. They no longer have that water environment. So they'll go into an endospore, where basically the cell dissolves, leaving behind this endospore. When the pond refills, those endospores will go back to being a bacteria. Archaea are kind of an interesting class. They're their own type of species. So you have prokaryotes, bacteria, and archaea. They're both similar. We believe archaea might actually be closer related to eukaryotes, which we are eukaryotes. It has to do with some of the ribosomes. So right here it talks about the ribosomes of archaea resemble the ribosomes of eukaryotes. So again, and they are extremes. They live in extreme conditions. All right, and then after you read. Okay, and then your homework, instead of having those quizzes, is a little simpler. There's a document, and basically what it has, it's a quick vocabulary. Now it's got lesson 1 and lesson 2, but we're just focusing on lesson 1. And so here's some vocabulary for you guys to practice with. Another vocabulary practice. And I included this little math sheet. Now, again, when I include these are just meant to keep your brains fresh, and it's good to develop math skills, and this is something that you can apply in terms of science. And answers to this will be posted at a later date. These pages are not graded. They're just there to give you resources and extra learning. Again, another practice with vocabulary. And then this is called a quiz. So this is basically where your assignment is. And what I've done is that last page I turned into a Google Doc. So basically what I'm doing is taking a screenshot of the questions, and then I put a table. And so I would like for you guys to put your answers in this table. Now notice that there's a matching. There's kind of 2 sets. There's the top one. You want to use A through D for the top one, and then matching set 2, you want to use that green set. But this, you can't put your answers here. It's a lot easier for me if you put your answers up here. This is a Google Doc. I've copied each of this document into your drive automatically. So I can't show what a student's view looks like, but you will fill this out. This one, again, it's just extra learning place for you guys to practice. I will post answers at a later date. And so I am done presenting.